He's the terror that flaps in the night, and he's also the select figure I have gotten the most questions about from you guys. It's the Darkwing Duck Negaduck 2-pack from Diamond Select Toys. And they provided us with a nice copy of this, as you can see, Deluxe Select set. I know you guys had a bunch of questions on articulation. We will get to that. Yes, there is articulation. As you can see, there is a lot. When we saw these on the shelves at STCC and Toy Fair, there were no accessories. We had no idea what was coming with this pack. We just saw the prototype figures. The prototype figures were painted. They couldn't move. There was no articulation. Now we have the set. You can see it's this massive deluxe box set. It's so big I can't even show you a 360 on a wheel. It's just too big to fit this in frame neatly. But you can see there are a ton of accessories. There are alternate capes. There are alternate heads. There are alternate hats. So you're going to get a nice range for both Negaduck and for Darkwing Duck. You'll also see there are a ton of accessories and hands. We'll be going over all of those. Negaduck, of course, has an arsenal. That was his thing. A lot of weapons. So we definitely have a lot of weapons here. So very excited. You can even see there's a chainsaw, which is a classic Negaduck weapon from the cartoon. This is mostly the packaging here. The only thing we have on the back is a shot of the two select characters and the accessory callouts. But this is mostly the box here. I mean, this is like a giant select with a giant window box. Usually we show you guys the Marvel Selects line, which are quite a sizable packaging there as well with a large window on it. We've shown you the Nightmare Before Christmas Select. We've shown you some of the other characters like Bruce Lee Select in the Lord of the Rings. So this is, keeping in that tradition with the giant window box. But this is a deluxe pack. I mean, it's huge. It's a 2-pack, but it's massively oversized. So a lot different than we expected. I expected something half this size. But yeah, there are a lot of accessories here. So this is definitely really cool. So I'm really excited. Why don't we just jump right in, open this box, and start checking this thing out. All right, I'm going to bring you in a lot closer on the set. It's really big, so let me adjust the framing on it. First, I just wanted to show you everything in the packaging after we took it out here. It just has the simple flap at the top, and it's going to open like a giant blister card. So we're just going to pull this out here. It is sealed very well in this little clamshell. And then I will show you all the accessories here. So you can see a nice assortment of the different accessories for Negaduck and Darkwing Duck. So Negaduck has his hat, of course, here. Different capes, so you can have that wind-blown look, and he has a relaxed cape look. And then a couple of different heads, more nefarious, and hands for holding, punching, etc. Same with Darkwing. He's come standard here with his wind-blown cape, but he also has a standard cape. And then Negaduck, of course, we have the chainsaw. Excited about that. We have looks like a gun here, or a bazooka, machete, and a couple other accessories, probably bombs. We'll check them out in a minute. We have the Darkwing Duck with his little grappling gun and a little smoke gun here as well. And it looks like there's some stands, and I think these stands are to help the figures really stand up, essentially. So let me bring you in a little bit closer, and now we'll check out these figures now that we've got a nice little overview here. I know another thing that Negaduck had was a nuke. I don't think there's a nuke in this set. That would be kind of over the top. I never really understood that as a weapon. It's not practical because you're throwing it at somebody and you're going to be in close proximity. But it was a cartoon, and it was a fun time to do zany stuff like that. So here we go. We have our set here now. Taking up a lot of space. Let me just see if I can move this off to the side. And I'm going to start with Darkwing Duck. All right, sorry about that. I realized that I was out of frame, and I wanted to make sure you guys could see Darkwing in a video about Darkwing. So, a little adjustment here. So as you can see, here is our Darkwing Duck. He comes standard with the windblown cape. Getting to your first question, the articulation. Well, look at the feet. He's got those movable feet there. So at the ankle, he's got articulation. He can move the legs up and down. When it comes to the arms, he's got hand articulation. He's also got two other alternative hands on here, a fist and a weapon-holding hand. His elbows bend here. You get a little bit of range in the elbows. The arms can move across the body. They also go up and down. They're on a ball, too, so they go up and down side to side. So a lot of range in that shoulder joint. And then the head goes left and right. So, yeah, I mean, these are fully articulated characters. Not to worry about that. A little heavy with the cape here. You're going to have to play with the feet and find a center of gravity in order to keep him from toppling over, because this windblown cape I'm finding is just a little bit more than he could handle on his own. I mean, you could, the legs go out too. Okay, I missed that last time. The legs go out, not just up and down. So you could get a little wider or a little narrower, but this cape is still kind of problematic. It wants to pull your character to the right, so you're going to have to adjust that. And then you also have the hat. He has the great hat here. I'm going to pop that on top. And there he goes. He has his hat. So that is essentially the Darkwing look. Now, there is alternate ways to arrange him here. He has this suspicious head where he has the eyes drifting off to the left. And then we have an alternate cape. So let me play around with that first really quick. So I'm going to pop the head, just a little turn and a little forceful pull. Pop the head, pop the cape, pop the new cape. While we have this off, you can just check out the back here at the little tail coming out through the back of the costume there. And then we're going to pop the new head on. So just a little twist and a push while you do that to get it to sort of pop back in. So now we got that new head in. So I got that suspicious look on Darkwing, and I got his hat, and that completes the look. And this should be a lot easier to balance. Yep, a lot easier than this one. Here's the close-up of the other head, just standard eyes there. So what has he got in the realm of accessories? Well, first I'm going to take his hand off here and give him a hand that allows him to hold a weapon. So just a little pull there as we twist, and then same with this. A lot easier than a head to put this in. So he has his little multi-tool here, essentially. You see some nice coloring on there, the pink lines, the purple, the blue lens, and then that should fit very nicely into this little hand he has. I'm just going to leave his hat off so you can see him a little bit easier. So not only does he have this little cannon here, but there are a bunch of attachments. This one I think is fun. It's the grappling hook attachment. So you could just sit it in there like this in the end of the barrel. And then they have a version of that where it is extended, like he has fired it off. So you get two versions of that grappling hook with that little rope on there. So very fun to have that on there too. And then you get a plume of smoke. And the plume of smoke has this little gas function there, and you can see multiple clouds there. Very nicely detailed. I like that. It's a really nice look for him. But it is a little heavy, and it does cause him to topple forward. Fear not, Diamond Select has got you. They have this little attachment here, and I think this attachment is ideal for holding that plume of smoke, or holding any point of the gun here, essentially to take the weight off the character and allow you to balance him when you're posing him in an action shot with one of his weapons. So that you can get the full look, essentially, of Darkwing there without having to worry about him toppling over. If you're really, really, really good at balancing action figures, I know it's like an art, you might be able to find the right contact point and adjust for it, tilting him the opposite direction. But then you're going to have this look where he's arcing backward instead of a more natural look. So I think this is really designed to help you out. And just looking at Negaduck's accessories, this is going to come in a lot of handy. There's one for Negaduck as well. It's going to come in handy when you're trying to pose him with one of these accessories. So yeah, I mean, without it, you could get him balancing on his own easy. As you saw there, the second I took that away, he's fine. I got him balancing with all the accessories except for the plume of smoke, because that one has significant weight to it. So it's gonna force your character to drop forward. Yeah, the other ones you get by without. Not so much the plume of smoke. So it's nice to have this little stand here just to give you that extra point of contact, take some of the weight off, and help you balance it. But that is essentially your Darkwing Duck character here. And I apologize, there's not a lot of room, so I'm trying to keep him in frame and still not lose Negaduck over here. But this is essentially your Darkwing. You have this extra head. You have this nice windblown cape. You have this plume of smoke for the gas function there. You have the grappling hook and the extension of the grappling hook, and then you have two other sets of hands. So you have these weird grippy hands, he's got the weapon holding hands, and then he's got fists. And then of course you have this little bonus stand. There are no instructions for the stand, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's for. And it's usually intuitive. So yeah, that is essentially your Darkwing Duck. You could display him any way you want with the hat. Yeah, it fits any way you want in the head because of this little tuft of feathers there, so it's really nice. So you could really display his hat any way you like. So fun. I think it's awesome. I love the articulation on this guy, a lot of functionality to it. And I love all the faces that they have for these characters, which is why we're going to get to Negaduck now and check out the more versatile options you have with Negaduck. All right, we spent our time looking at Darkwing. Let's get into the alternate world in his counterpart, Negaduck. Negaduck looks great. He's going to have the same articulation, I'm sure, as Darkwing. Up and down, side to side. He's got those elbows. There we go. A little stiff initially when you bend them. Just make sure you have the elbow joint facing the right way. You don't want to lock the arm up and end up snapping it off. So yeah, a little stiff, but they're get there. Same articulation in the hands and the head. He's got this really devious look, default. He comes with his cape, not in the windblown look by default, but he does have that windblown cape. This is heavy. I'm not gonna lie. It is a little heavier, it feels, than the other cape. So it's gonna be hard to balance that. And then he has his hat, of course, so you could put that long red hat on there. We found it easily to find a center of gravity there. I want to check out his other heads. I'm not going to switch them out, but we got a more standard look to him, less devious. It kind of matches up with the Darkwing Duck head. And then we have this other head here. It's a little more intense. Kind of looks like Sylvester a little bit, but with the mouth slightly open. So we have those assortment of heads. And then he's got weapon holding hands. So I am definitely going to put weapon holding hands on him because I do want to see how he looks with his assortment of weapons. Because Negaduck is all about the weapons. This is a guy, excuse me, Negaduck. This is a guy that definitely relies on his arsenal. So we are going to take out his right hand here. Again, we're going to do that twist and pull method and pop this one in. There we go. So again, this is one that loves his weapons, so we want to make sure we see how all these look in his hand here. I'm going to take out this holder, just like we had with Darkwing, just in case we need them. And I'm going to start with, we'll go less to most lethal, so, or least to most lethal. These are tricky to get out. They are definitely stuck in here. And the first one we have is a machete. I mean, Jason's a fan of the machete. Everyone uses a good machete. It's kind of oversized, so I think in proportion to the character, it's huge. It should probably be, I don't know, maybe half that size. But he can hold this machete, and he's not toppling over. I'm going to include him here with his hat, just to show you how the full ensemble looks, but I want to keep it off so you guys don't get restricted looking at the weapons here. So that is his machete. That fits in there quite nicely. Next up, we have this, I want to say it's a bazooka. Probably way more lethal than the machete. He could put it in his hand here, although I think actually it goes, this is actually the hand holding part, and I think the rest of it goes up against his shoulder. But it's a little awkward. I see the trigger there. I think it's supposed to go in his hand like this. And then you got the iron sights on there. There is no attachment or anything, or no missile or rocket or grenade component that goes in there. So that is just the, and it's not really fitting very well. I'll put it in like this. So that is his launcher here, and he holds this without toppling over. There's the launcher. You can see that iron sight on there. And then he has the bomb. This is not a nuclear bomb. This is a standard 90s bad guy bomb that had a fuse on it. So a little hard to hold this. I guess you could just put it in there like that, but it is your standard, you know, circular black bomb with a fuse, a rope fuse on it. So he has that. He did have bombs. So it's like all your standard 90s villain sort of repertoire. And then my favorite, the chainsaw. And this chainsaw looks great. I just want to take a minute to show that to you. I mean, look, they have multiple applications on here of coloring. So you got the blade is all silver. It's serrated. You got this yellow back to it. And then the handles. Reminds me of that Resident Evil 4 chainsaw from the GameCube game. And then, yeah, so you can put that in his hand here, and his weapon holding hand. This one is a little heavier. I am not having any issue with him holding weapons as opposed to a Darkwing. Like Darkwing's weapons, they were falling over. Like his weapons are not. I think this is the way the hat goes. Actually, his weapons are not. They're just not as heavy as the Darkwing weapons were. So I think it just works a little bit better. And he is the opposite of Darkwing, right? So he has not heavy weapons, I guess. But if you needed to, you could always use that sort of holder to help you do that without him toppling over. I don't think you're going to get a function of having two hands hold anything, because you're just not getting that range. I mean, I'm trying here, but I don't think he's going to get full range across the body, and I don't want to break the figure. And I don't think it's designed to be like one of those. I mean, you could almost do it, but you see how it falls out when I try to get too close. You could almost do it, but I don't think you're going to get a full range of across the. I mean, these aren't like, you know, Marvel Legends or Black Series in their range of motion, but that's pretty close. I mean, I'm impressed that it even does this. I mean, it's getting across the body here, and he's almost got two hands on it. And you're definitely not going to get, you know, him to reach around and hold two hands on this bazooka. It's just way too far, and it's just too awkward of a position. But that's pretty cool on the chainsaw, and you could probably put that second hand and grab that top handle. So I think that looks pretty sharp. But yeah, I mean, that is your Negaduck, and here is your Darkwing Duck. And yeah, Darkwing, you do need this if you want to use the plume. So that is a great setup between the two of these guys here. And yeah, what a set. I mean, the detailing on them, the articulation, the accessories, and this ultra deluxe super package of characters. I'll get that out of the way finally. And you just get so much. Negaduck, you get 2 extra heads, slightly more nefarious than the last. You get that bomb, you get alternate hands, you get that alternate windblown cape, you have the machete, you have the bazooka, you have the chainsaw, you have the hat. I mean, just a lot going on with Negaduck. They gave him 1 extra head and a couple more accessories, so I kind of enjoy that. And with Darkwing, I mean, you got a great setup here. He's got his classic gear, and he just looks sharp. I mean, both of these figures came out amazing. If you're a Darkwing fan or a Saturday morning cartoon fan from the Disney Saturday set, or was it Disney Afternoons? Maybe it was Disney Afternoons. Either way, this is great. I mean, these are amazing. At this point, I just hope Diamond Select does Tailspin or does any of the other cartoons, Chip and Dale. I mean, because if they could do this great a job with this set, imagine what they could do with the other characters and really build it out so you could have all those classic characters. I mean, they just look great. Absolutely great. If you're a Darkwing fan, you're going to love it. This is just a great set, and you're getting 2 of them in a set. Absolutely amazing. We need a launch pad now to just round it out. So that is your look at this great 2-pack of Darkwing Duck and Negaduck. It should be available now, if not now, really, really soon. So yeah, check it out. Well, that was a lot of fun. I mean, this set is really, really cool. Darkwing looks amazing. Negaduck looks amazing. They nailed the accessories. I mean, he has zany weapons. He's got a bazooka in here, machete, a chainsaw, this 90s stereotypical bad guy bomb from a cartoon. I mean, everything. And Darkwing has his little grappling gun / gas gun here. Like, it's got everything you need. What a great set. These figures came out amazing. Just the right amount of articulation, I think, for this box set. Alternate capes, alternate heads, the hats. I mean, it's everything you want if you're a Darkwing fan. I know you guys asked questions about this. I hope I answered all your questions. If I didn't, ping me in the video. Let me know what else you want to know. If you want to know how tall they are, I don't know, like 5 inches, 4.5 inches, somewhere in that range. A little taller than a vintage collection figure, but not too tall. So yeah, just around that size. Yeah, a great set. This retails for $50. It's sold out on some fan sites. Some fan channels should be getting them in soon, so I'll put up pre-order links if you guys want to grab them. I think this set is going to go fast when it hits stock. It should be hitting shelves very, very, very soon. So this is definitely going to sell. So if you want it, grab it. We will have a link for you. Of course, we have our code for Entertainment Earth that gives you guys 10% off. But it's only 10% off in stock. So if this sells out before it even goes into stock, you can't use the code and you can't get the item. So up to you. We'll include that code as always in the video. Well, you know, it's just our way of showing appreciation of you guys. You get a little discount to pick these things up, and they're quite sharp. I think you're going to love them. They blowing my mind away compared to what we saw in the glass case at Comic-Con and at New York Toy Fair. These are fully articulated figures. They're fun. They look great. I think they'd be great to display. They have this little stand we didn't know was coming with it to help you display the figures and to hold these very heavy attachments for the items there. So, I mean, what more could you want except Launchpad? We need a Launchpad now. But like, as entry into Darkwing figures, like, this is nailing it. You guys are going to absolutely love this. So that is all for the look at this 2-pack Deluxe Select set from Diamond Select Toys. What's up next? Well, we're going to have Indiana Jones. We're finally going to get to that third wave. I know you guys saw the Raiders video we did and the Temple of Doom. Now we have the Last Crusade. So we will be wrapping up the Adventure Collection on that. We're going to have March is Ghostbusters month, so I'm saving all my Ghostbusters stuff, and we have the new Fright Features figures and all sorts of other stuff. Saving that for March since we have the movie coming out, 40th anniversary is June, but we'll save it for March. We'll make that Ghostbusters month. We're going to be doing some more crossover stuff. You guys just saw the Raph video, and then this week we are also going to have, we'll be doing the Masters of the Universe and TMNT crossover stuff. We're going to have some surprises. We're going to have some more Turtle stuff, of course. We got some big stuff we want to show you from Super 7. So we have a lot of entertaining, fun stuff coming up. A lot of surprises. February, we're going to try to make a crossover month, do a couple more crossovers. And then March is going to be heavily Ghostbusters themed. I mean, I'll sprinkle other things in there, but there's going to be a lot of Ghostbuster stuff. So keep checking back for that. If you like Star Wars and you're missing Star Wars stuff, why don't we do Star Wars on this site? It's because we have a whole nother site we just dedicate to Star Wars. That's called rebelsgum.com. So this is the site for everything else. Rebels Gum is just Star Wars. You'll see me on there doing my thing with the Jumbos, doing my thing with the various other more of the oddball collectible items, and I do a great retrospective series. So you can check those out on everything ranging from 30-40 years history of playsets to unique versions of characters to all sorts of different little interesting tidbits from the galaxy far, far away. So check those out as well. That's all for this time. As always, like, subscribe, and follow, and we will see you guys next time.